lights are brightest, these performers come alive. October hits different. Postseason 2025. Baseball is something else. Major League Baseball trademarks, user permission.
October 10th is World Mental Health Day. And this year, we are saying thank you, therapists. Behind every supportive moment and small win is a therapist who showed up and made a difference. BetterHelp has supported over 5 million people globally on their mental health journeys. With 12 plus years experience and the world's largest online network of qualified therapists, it's easy to match with the one that's right for you. See for yourself. Visit BetterHelp.com and use code SCORE for 10% off your first month.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600 plus miles of range. What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom school designs that let everyone know who you root for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing snacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN. 1 free year of Perplexity Pro and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now in the Venmo app. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard.
Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. Why do we love SEC football? Because no matter the venue or the rivalry.
We're on the air. We're on the air. We're on the air.
It's live your host, Stephen A. Turner.
What's up and welcome, to Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry. Dedicated to you, committed to justice. That's FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner here in the Floor Concept Studios, getting a little remixed version of the intro there, joined by Coach Vic Evans.
What's up, man?
Oh, another beautiful day. The sun did come out today. Yesterday it was the opposite. Today it looked like a little bit of a beautiful afternoon out there.
You're exactly right. Maybe it'll stay this way.
Yeah. And
I'm going to pull up.
It's a little bit distracting, but we'll get through it here. Download that Owensboro Radio app. You can listen anywhere in the world. Follow along out there on 102.7 The Game on social media. You can text us throughout the show in the Green River Area Federal Credit Union text line, 270-903-0389. We were going to be breaking into some baseball, but delay out there in Detroit.
Yeah, I was supposed to play earlier today, and so now what we'll have is we won't have the Detroit game for you.
No.
We will get –
Can't beat Mother Nature.
No, I don't know if they'll play tonight. We'll see. But at 6:30, it'll kick off our coverage of Yankees Blue Jays following us, and then tomorrow we'll have a full day of baseball.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Baseball playoffs going strong. You can check us out there on social media. We're streaming across the platforms, whatever platform you use, Facebook, X, wherever it may be. We're also on YouTube, live stream courtesy of Legendary Pool and Spa. Be sure and subscribe there on YouTube. We're on Spotify, wherever you consume your podcast. We'll have Owensboro Health Top 10. I believe we'll have one next week with all the the buys and everything. It won't
No,
be much
it'll be
of
this week, and then we'll take a week
take a
off
little
with
break.
player of the weeks
Yeah.
and things of that nature
Yeah.
too. So
everything's going on fall break after this week, right? But
everybody's playing fall break this year pretty
it is
close
kinda
because
strange.
of
well,
weird.
they're flip flopping too. Some teams are taking the bye this week, a few taking it next week, and then some don't really get one, like McLean, right? I mean,
I think you had a bye last week, but I think the way that
not necessarily, but you practice the whole week for the game. Then you don't play the game. You're going to play it next Saturday.
And you're going to be off all next
And
week.
you're not
No
practicing
practice.
at all,
Yeah, because you got
so-
people going out of town too.
Yeah, that should
but
be
I think what happened is school got pushed back a week. So I think originally, and luckily for Catholic, because remember their game was originally scheduled for next Friday,
week,
but they were able to move it. But when the season started, because that's when the whole fall break thing changed. So if you look at the way it is, Owensboro always plays on the Thursday before fall break. That was all set up, and then school started a week later, which moved fall break back a week, and now everybody's got games. Most people have games during fall break.
Yeah, weird. I mean, it's always a weird time. When I was in school, we didn't have a thing called fall break. I mean, you got spring break, and that's it, man.
Well, we had like a 2-day break. It was like a Thursday, Friday.
Plus, we didn't start school in July like they do now.
No,
It's
that's true.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's right there at the 1st of August. But, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit different, but we'll adjust to it here on Live at 5, and we'll kind of go through. I was looking at, I think next week, instead of doing the top 10, we'll look at playoff pictures for our teams across the area. We'll dive into that a little bit in the top 10, give away plenty of player of the weeks today. We got some national topics to dive into, and we'll kick things off with the MLB playoffs here. And the Dodgers last night broke my heart a little bit. The thing is, it got me excited in the 9th, and then let me down. So we'll start with the MLB playoffs. We'll talk a little NFL as the Jags take down the Kansas City Chiefs. We also have some football news for in-state, professional football news for the state of Kentucky we'll dive into here in just a little bit. But yeah, man, I got to get your take on this because you are, you've been out, the games before, manager experience there at a high level. And last night, the Phillies cut it down. It's 4-1 going to the 9th, which, by the way, Dodgers fans, you still have an idiot for a manager. I'm just letting you know that. Like, there's some guys like that get the most out of the talent that they have, and then there's some guys that just ride the coattails of great talent, and that is Dave Roberts. He's not a great manager.
No, he's not.
They're winning in spite of him, which they did last year as well, because you've assembled a $1 billion roster, and he's covering up the dumb moves this guy makes. Why you go? As soon as I saw, and listen, I'm like, you heard me on the show yesterday. I'm a very pessimistic Phillies fan. So but even me, like when we're going to the 9th down 4-1, and I see they're putting Trenton in the game, I looked at my nephew Noah, and I was like, man, we're gonna have a shot here. I mean, Trenton's terrible. Like,
yes,
we're gonna have a shot. And the next thing you know, we did have a shot. They rough him up. It gets it to 4-3. So you got 4-3, nobody out. Castellanos on second.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryson Stott coming to the plate. They do make the pitching change to go lefty on lefty, which Stott has really struggled. And he is a great contact hitter, even when he doesn't strike out a ton. So he does put the ball in play. But even me, during the pitching change, said, I'm going to bunt Stott here. I'm going to get Casty to third, and I'm going to take my chances with Kepler to hit a fly ball to the outfield because he's a professional hitter. I think he can get that job done, and we tie this game up. We're at home, so I like that move. But I've been seeing Rob Thompson getting buried today, and even Chris, the professor, said there's no way he bunts Stott there with that momentum. You're giving up an out. And, with a great contact hitter coming to the plate, it is lefty on lefty. What's the call there?
Okay, here, 2 questions. Is there anybody on the bench that's a right-hander when we went to the lefty? I don't know the Phillies very well. Do you have anybody that you could have pinched hit in that situation?
No, I mean, they used Weston Wilson off the bench to run for Bader. So he's on first. Our bench is empty at that point. He's emptied it.
Yeah. So
I think you might have had a backup catcher.
Now let me ask you this, because I didn't see the game. I was doing something, but I was listening to it, and then by the time I looked to see what happened, I saw where they had a man at second, nobody out, and then there was a runner at first and 1 out. And I'm like, okay. So did he bunt the first pitch?
Yeah, he tried.
Okay. Did he get it down?
No, he did not.
Okay.
No.
But in that, and this is why I maybe would have taken it off, because what the Dodgers were doing, they were both crashing hard and putting the rotation play on.
But did you see the play? It's a wheel play.
Without a doubt. So part of this is
I agree, I don't disagree.
So
with
if
that.
you tried to bunt the first time and they were going to crash, it really, and especially because normally what you want to do with a man at second, you're going to bunt. You want the third baseman to field the ball because normally what they'll do is the third baseman will read. He'll come and get the hard bunt, and then there's no play at third. Okay. Now when you're crashing, then it's a little different because the third baseman's crashing. Some of this is on the base runner for not getting a better lead.
Jimmy Rollins last night on the post game hung Casty out to dry.
Right.
Said it was
so if they're going to put the rotation play on, the shortstop has to leave fairly early and take off. And then the guy at second, a lot of times he'll try to hold the guy, but then he's got to leave because with the first baseman crashing, he's got to cover first. So it was very poor base running by Castellanos. But I do think if I'd have tried to bunt the first time and if they were crashing and putting a wheel play on, I would have probably taken off and then trust my lefty to pull the baseball and move the runner up because it's really hard. I mean, listen, in high school it's a little different because your defenders aren't quite as good. But these are really good defenders crashing hard.
You heard if you listen to the post game, you hear Freddie Freeman talk about how the design of the crash and the wheel play, and I thought it was interesting. I do see. I think Thompson's taking a beating for nothing. If he gets that bunt down, Casty goes to third, and we tie the game.
He got the bunt down. He just got the third base was crashing.
Yeah, it really wasn't a bad bunt, but you needed to come up.
Oh, well, no, that's what most people say. Most people say you got with the crashers. No, because Freddie Freeman's left-handed. He has no turn to make. He fields the ball being left-handed. He's throwing straight to third. So that's once they put the crash play on, and a lot of this is on Castellanos. There's some guys that when they put
him off my team.
There's some guys when they put the crash play on will try to steal that bag, which you really can't do in that situation. But he has to get a better lead. You just can't bunt that ball at the first baseline. One, Freddie Freeman's a great defender. Two, he's left-handed. So all he has to do is field, and he's got a perfect throw. At least at third base, he has to spin and throw.
Yeah, Muncy executed it well. And I mean, Muncy was like playing it like a softball third base.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
He's already halfway in. And that is the one reason that I would say, like you said, after you see it that first time, didn't get it down. I think if he gets it down on the first pitch, I think Casty's easily there, and they just go to first for the out. And then you're looking at Kepler to try to get this game tied. But for me, I mean, Rollins threw Casty under the bus. And I'm going to take Jimmy Rollins, what he said. I mean, it's basically like he's got to read that better. Either because if you look back at the replay, he didn't even –
the jump was terrible.
As soon as the ball leaves the pitcher's hands, you got to be going.
Well, you don't have to be going.
You got to be rolling.
You don't have to be rolling, but you got to get a big secondary lead. And so here's the thing.
His jump was real delayed, though.
Yes, here's the thing. So what you do is you read the shortstop and you read the second baseman. As the shortstop starts to go, then you are literally, you're taking a monster secondary lead. Yeah, and especially with the second baseman, if he's gotten to go towards first, it's wide open. I'd have loved to see if they put the bunt play on, they get the crash to put the slash on, which means you square and then you pull it back and you try to chop it down at somebody.
Yeah. It stinks because if you look back last year, Stott had the big hit that scored Casty to beat the Mets last year, and it was huge in the eighth inning, and it just looked weird looking back on a different situation, obviously. But yeah, man, that's a crushing loss last night for the Phillies, and the top of their order is just. Man, it sucks so bad to play 162 games and then no show the postseason. And I mean,
it's baseball.
And I mean, I've piled on Braves. Listen, the Braves can go ahead. The Braves fans can line up, man, and go ahead and take their shots because I buried the Braves for doing it for years and years and years in the postseason. But the postseason is merciless. I mean,
well, it's such a short sample size. Let me ask you a question though. Think about this. Think about the number of times in a regular season, 162 games, where somebody like Bryce Harper or Schwarber or Trey Turner go 0 for 14.
Yeah.
And you don't even think anything about it. Like, that's just part of the game of baseball. Well, it's up and down. The problem is it's not like,
But hold on. I hear these things in the post-game presser where it's like, I hear Thompson say it and I heard Alec Bohm say it. Well, they're pressing too hard. They're trying – well, that means you're shrinking from the occasion. There's no other way to put it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're trying harder, or you're doing something different mentally and physically in the postseason than you were doing a month ago, you're just doing it wrong. And if you're pressing too hard in these games, which you did last year as well, it's just telling me that you guys aren't built to win in the postseason.
Hold on. Think about this though. Okay, you can. It has nothing to do. You can be a star. Okay, now just put this into like high school basketball. All right, and sometimes the moment gets huge. And you get a little nervous. The nerves take in. I mean, think about guys that you're up 1 with 37 seconds to play, and you got 2 free throws, and you miss them both.
Yeah,
like that doesn't mean he shrunk from the moment. That also means that he just didn't handle the pressure well that time. The thing about it is, a guy like Schwarber, who you look at, who's had success in the postseason, he's had an MVP year. All right, you go to the first game, you go 0 for 3, and this is where baseball is so
Not
different.
Not 0 for 3, but some big strikeouts.
Right, but here's the point I'm making.
Big strikeouts.
Here's what's so different about baseball and every other sport is it is the absolute number one, no questions asked, game of failure. There is no other sport you can play where you fail 70% of the time and you're a Hall of Famer. And the problem is that, you hear about this having an opening day outlook every day. And this is what separates I go and I look, guys, go watch a AAA game and you watch guys hit. And you're like, dude, that swing is unreal. That's as good as anybody I've seen in the major leagues. Why can't he be successful in the major leagues as he is in AAA? Like, what separates good AAA players, good AA players from, big-time major league players?
Yeah.
It has the ability to have an opening day mentality every day. And that gets tougher to do in the postseason. You can't let yesterday's 0 for 4 make you go 0 for 8.
Well, that
0 for 8 go 0 to. And as the postseason gets there, that gets harder and harder to do because you are making $37 million and the fans are booing. And you know that you have to come through.
Well,
it's hard. It's not, I don't think it's shrinking from the thing. I think it is a press thing where you want to come through so bad.
I don't want to hear the fans. Listen, I almost paid $700 to $800 to fly to Philly. That was going to be the price tag. It was getting close to $800. I was almost ready.
No, fans can boo all they want.
Pull the trigger and go up there last night for a game you came out in and were completely lifeless for 8 innings, like completely lifeless. Like you're especially Castellanos, who swings it. I could go up there and throw the ball in the dirt 3 straight times. He's going to swing every stinking time, right? And if I pay that much money and I'm up there, and not only that, but I've invested all this time into this 162 game season in this squad, and you come out and just don't even show up. Of course I'm going to boo you. And if that bothers, not you, I'm talking to Casty. If that bothers you, then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because in Philly, we don't accept that mediocrity, especially when you're getting paid what you're getting paid. Not only that, but you're performing well under where your career has been ever since you walked in the door. So if you want to whine about getting benched, then play better.
Exactly, 100%.
Don't cry to your manager. Don't whine to the media about how the fans booing you. Grow some thicker skin and step up and be a player.
It was set up for Castellanos to have a big game. You had the whole Mark Sanchez situation. That should have been a home run for Castellanos.
He put the bat out there. He got lucky on that double.
He got a big hit.
He literally almost threw the bat at the ball and chopped it out.
It doesn't matter how he does it. If you're going to get on him, when he comes up with men at second and third and nobody out and he gets a single to drive in 2 runs.
When he drove in 2?
That's what I'm saying, though.
He has come up big for us at times.
Then he blew it with the base running.
But zip it, man. Zip the whining. I don't want to hear the whining today. Last night. All these guys whining. I tell you what, just say, you know what? I'll be better. That's it. I don't need to hear anything else. I'm going to do better or I won't, and the season's going to come to an end. Either way, there's no shame. Let me be clear here. There's no shame in losing to the Dodgers. It's a really good baseball team. And here's the thing in the series that I thought we would be able to do. I was talking to Noah about it. I said, look, they owned us. Their starting pitching has owned us this year. But as soon as we get to that pen, we're going to eat. And guess what? That pen's thrown 2 innings in this series. And that's because the way they've stacked, and out here I just blamed Roberts, but the way they stacked the pitching with Glass now going out of the pen, you got these starters coming in.
No, they have so many starters, and here's the thing.
They've been able to use starters in relief situation, and it's worked for them.
Yeah,
it's worked for them.
What has helped the Dodgers is they had so many injury problems all year long with their pitching staff. They had to go out and make moves and add. So they got like 8 starters. Their bullpen is awful.
It's awful.
But they're using Glasnow out of the
coming
pen.
in. I was like, we finally got a reliever to come in.
And they had a big,
and we had a big inning.
They're using Glasnow. Now they're using, the 3 or 4 starters out of the pen.
Sasaki is looking pretty good. Why do you not go to Sasaki right off the rip there? If you're Roberts, this is my question.
I mean, one, I don't know what they're pitching.
It's about as silly as going to David Robertson as your first pitcher out of the pen for Thompson on Saturday.
I didn't like that move. I mean,
the worst arm in the pen through the regular season, and you throw him out there right off the bat. And here's another thing, Thompson, and I'm trying to defend him because I love Rob Thompson. But if you're not going to throw Ranger in Game 3, you're going to start Nola, which is what has been announced. Why is Ranger not the first arm out of the pen?
He should have been the first arm Game 1. On Game 1, 100%.
So, I mean, I'm sorry, fans that are listening to tune in. This is me. This is my therapy session.
That's what you got.
I mean, I had the rally hat on last night. I almost brought us back with the rally hat, but it just wasn't enough to overcome terrible execution. And the Dodgers are up 2-0. It's not over yet, though. As you can see, I'm still wearing Phillies red.
Still going to be tough having to go win 2 games in L.A. Out of the 3.
I think home field in baseball is literally the most overrated thing.
Oh, you're crazy.
I think it's the most overrated thing. I think sometimes teams can use that as a rally cry. Ask the Diamondbacks when they came in. They're down 3-2 coming to. We're 1-5 in our last 6 at Citizens Bank. Vaunted Citizens Bank Park. Get us on the road. I mean, we're terrible at home. At least maybe we can hit a bomb out there in L.A. I mean, I don't know. This series is not over. I'm telling you. It's not over.
That's how I feel about the Yankees series. If they can win tonight.
I agree. I completely agree.
I'll say this. If the Yankees win tonight, they win the series.
Ooh, man. And the Jays look so dang hot.
I know. But that's
the only thing giving me
You're
pause.
only as good. Here's the great thing in baseball, okay? Baseball streaks and being hot and being cold, it's only as good as your next day starter.
I agree.
If Rendon can go out and throw a big-time game, all of a sudden you turn everybody into slumps.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rendon's got a big one tonight, and it looks like the Mariners and Tigers. I don't know if they're going to get that one in. The Brewers are cruising. I mean, they're crushing it. Yeah, I thought maybe they peaked too soon, but they took a couple of weeks off, and they look like they do in the middle of the season.
I'm shocked by how well the Brewers are playing. Now, I still think the Dodgers probably handled them fairly easy. But I really expected the Cubs to win one of those first 2 games and go into Wrigley.
Yeah, the way it started last night, I thought favored the Cubs, but the Brewers are cruising. It's looking like a Brewers-Dodgers NLCS, but we'll see. I'm going to pause it. I mean, we still got – the Phillies are good. Just show up. Just show up and be who you've been, and you'll be fine. Quit trying to do more than you're capable of doing. Settle
be who
in,
you is.
Play a baseball game like it's June 10th, and you'll be fine. It's literally that. Quit trying to take the weight of the world on your shoulders and just go play the game that you grew up playing. It's that simple.
It's easy to do, though.
It is easy to do. I mean, trust me. I think my stomach doesn't feel the knots every single pitch in the postseason. It's killing me. But I'm glad that it's a win-win for me because if they lose, I don't have to deal with this anymore.
I mean, you're in this crossover section where you got to deal with the Phillies one day and the Vikings the next.
One thing I will say, the growth I've had in my faith has really helped me put less of a emphasis on these games. Like it didn't as soon as the game was over last night, it didn't bother me. I mean, it didn't, I mean, honestly, it didn't like ruin like years past. I wouldn't have been able to sleep last night after a loss like that. I've kind of put that behind me. And the Vikings, I haven't even watched the Vikings game this year, which is unheard of for me.
Do you know the only one, like I've been really good about any longer Yankees loss in postseasons and things like that, UK. The only one that it takes me a little bit to get over with is Notre Dame football.
Yeah, well.
That's about it.
It's like every year you have to get over. I think that's what it's finally come to. It's
hold on now. They got all the way to the national championship game last year.
It was a great run. No, it was a great run. But it didn't end in a championship.
No.
And for a fan like me who doesn't have very many championships, I mean, if
I've got one Notre Dame championship in my lifetime. 1988 is the only one I remember, and I don't remember the ones in the 70s. So 88.
If losing builds character, then I am literally the highest character guy since Jesus. I'm telling you right now, because
Lord, I've been struck by lightning once. Let me scoot over a little bit.
At all levels, I didn't mean that comment to come off negatively.
Oh, I know.
But I mean, it's one of those things where I've lost so much. I mean, I should have a very high character. character. I mean, at every level. But no, I thought I'd get that off my chest to start the show today. We will talk a little NFL on the back half because there's another thing I wanted to circle back to. If we're doing a therapy session for my sports today, there's something else that's driving me crazy, but it's on the football side. So we'll close the show with that. I don't want to overshadow the entire episode of Live at 5 here, but we'll pause it for Karen Gross, realtor with RE/MAX Professional Realty Group. Your dream is her mission. Give her a call at 270-315-9810 or find her at karengross.net. It's Live at 5, but the Escala is doing some funny things. Maybe that's why we had a little double replay.
No, I know why we had a double replay. We had to redo logs today and late to kind of get things fixed up, and then we failed to go back and retake out the command, so it starts itself, and then once it starts,
we just play.
It's got to play out. Yes, it's got to play all the way out.
We were almost. I mean, you were right there on the trigger, but just a tad bit shy, which is why we doubled up on the intro there. But we will
No, we may have to go straight into the top 10 here.
Getting nothing. Well, I will say that if you watched Monday Night Football last night, I mean, was that the weirdest game-winning touchdown of all time?
Yes, 100%.
I would love to be. Could you imagine me on the call? I was thinking about this today as I was watching it back, imagining myself on the call of that play. Lawrence takes a snap. Oh, he falls down. He falls down again. He rolls to his left, gets a block, and now he's gone.
Yep.
Touchdown.
Yep, touchdown. I can get us to break. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go to break.
Right back here with the top 10.
Maybe not.
We may not be taking any breaks today. Maybe commercial-free episode of Live at 5 here. Try to log back into Scala, and I'll go ahead and talk about two of our player of the weeks. How about that?
Go right ahead.
And don't take me to break until I get done with this, all right? Breckenridge County, 2-5. They got a bye this week. They travel to winless Doss after that. But you look at Breck's schedule. I kind of like Breck to win out. I could see a 5-5 finish for the Breckenridge County Fighting Tigers. Our VFW 58-31 Fighting Tiger of the week. Aiden Burnett, 88 rushing yards this week, and he'll be our Fighting Tiger of the week. And on the other side, how about Grayson County, the other team outside the top 10 with the player of the week this week? Got on the winning side of things with a 48-14 win over Ohio County. They have a bye, and then they have the biggest game of the season as they play Warren Central, and that will be for a playoff spot in that matchup there for the district. Our Above All Roofing Cougar of the week, Ethan Mudd, 146 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns for the Grayson County Cougars.
Let's try it one more time.
Let's do it. We're all locked up today.
I think it's all. Let me
Is Scala down or something?
I don't know. It may be.
Is it not letting you log back in?
No.
Man, I'll tell you what, this reminds me of a Friday night. I've never had this happen on a
Live at 5 episode.
Live at 5 before, but we'll keep rolling along. We're live, but you know how it goes.
Yeah,
even KSR has their issues every once in a while. No, it ain't letting you take it out.
No, it's we're locked up here.
Fair enough.
Maybe like you said, it may be one of those, and it's completely locked up, or it won't even let me. Let me try something else here. Let me see if I can. Maybe I have to end it and send us into ESPN and then bring it back. That may be what we have to do.
Yes, we got to get these fine partners of Live at 5 recognized.
Absolutely.
Is it even letting you close the event?
No.
Oh, man. Well, I guess did you bring your?
I got
the good news is I took us about 25 minutes of my whining and crying in the first segment. So
what I'm going to do here, as we're still talking, I will fire off our intermission where people can see our great partners that we have.
Hey, you don't have to look at us anyway. Yeah, kind of like John Cena over there.
We don't even. That's got to be re-put in there. We actually lost all the scenes to this. I had a breakdown or something from Beyond the Bench.
Somebody is hacking in. I think maybe Russia or somebody is hacking into Live.
Absolutely, maybe.
It might be the Beyond the Bench. That's probably more likely. It's probably Bradley Payne. He's doing everything he can to hijack Live at 5 when he's not here. I can guarantee it. But let's go ahead, man. And while you're doing that, there's no reason for delay. I'm sure the listeners.
I can go to the top 10 graphic, and then what we'll do is I'll work with Rob to get him to call Skyla and see if they can reset the whole thing.
There you go. Yeah, not much you can really do when you're live on the air. But let's go ahead and go with the Owensboro Health top 10. So for the football fans out there, turn it off and for the break. Hey, there's no break, right? We're rolling right through. We're going to kick things off with South Spencer. How about the Rebels sitting at 2-5, coming off a big win over Pike Central, and the stats are up. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have not.
The stats are up. Jason Miller, 196 passing yards, 3 touchdowns.
Did my guy do anything?
Your guy, Trey Lance, 113 rushing yards and a score. But how about my guy, Schulte, at the receiver spot? 89 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns on the night for Schulte. And they'll be at 4-3 North Central this week. You look at their sectional, it's led by Springs Valley and North Davis. And I believe this weekend, this Sunday, is the draw, I believe.
Yes.
For Indiana high school football. So that we'll be able to know a little bit more about the playoff picture for the Rebels. But it's a tough sectional. Springs Valley and North Davis both undefeated. So it'll be a tough path.
But then hopefully
South Spencer's
they get on
better.
the other side.
Yeah, they could.
I mean, there you go.
If you look at the other team, there's a lot of favorable matchups. You just want to stay away from those two.
Let them draw each other for game one on the other side. You don't have to beat one of them in the championship game.
I agree. No, and it's definitely something to watch for the South Spencer Rebels. We'll move it to the 9 spot now, and that's where McLean County is sitting 3-3 on the season. And I had wait and see with Fort Knox, but it is official. They're going to play that game next Saturday.
Saturday
so you got
the 18th.
Hancock this Thursday, and you got McLean and Fort Knox next Saturday at McLean County. So that'll be the schedule for the Cougars. So not so. I thought maybe they were going to get that game on a forfeit. It's not going to happen. In the meantime, it is Hancock County week. And that, if you've been around Jalen at all this week, you would certainly know that it's Hancock County week. Everything's at a fever pitch around Jalen right now. And I'm sure it's a game both teams want to win. Both teams want to be at home through the playoffs. And I got to looking at the series, man. The last 4, it's 2-2, it all knotted up. Hancock did win the last matchup. But if you go all the way back through the last 10 matchups, McLean has a heavy advantage, 7 wins to only 3 losses. So over the past decade, it's been heavy in the favor of the Cougars. And in this matchup, for me, it's about Stratton. He's a number 4 tackler in the state. I believe he has 98 tackles. He stacks up number 4 no matter what class you're in tackles. And it's going to be up to him and that McLean County run defense to slow down Hancock. I think you're going to see more of that heavy formation against McLean. I could be wrong. They may come out and throw it all over the lot. But I think that formation that I saw last week paid dividends for them in this matchup.
I think they're going to try to establish a run behind that offensive line and then be able to do some play action pass and hit Cooper Jones and see if they can get him one-on-one in some coverage. And if they do, I like that matchup. To me, this all comes down to those 2 front sevens. The front 7 on defense, both ways against that offensive line. I was thinking they were going to throw it all over them last year, and they went into McLean County and came out with a ground and pound game.
Yeah.
And was up like 14-0 and really running clock.
Salted away, yeah.
And they ended up winning 21-14. But I still think they got to have an idea of you got to look at having some Cooper Jones to there at the backside of it. To hit a big play or not.
Everybody, at least everybody in our inner circle, I think, favors Hancock in the matchup.
Except for Jalen, probably, and Caleb.
And now as we're getting closer to the game, why?
I think Eubanks in the threat with Cooper Jones and a little more balanced to be able to throw the football if you get behind early, whereas McLean has not shown any ability to throw the football. I do think, other than Bowden, it's not an explosive back, like that, they would see against a Miles Edge. McLean, Bowden can be explosive.
Yeah,
But Stratton and Gill, Gill can be at times, but I think that the run defense where Hancock really struggles defensively against the run are big-time explosive backs. And I don't know if McLean has that outside of Bowden. He's now playing quarterback.
You make a good point with the passing game. Hancock certainly has an advantage there if they choose to go that route. In the running game and run defense department, I'm not sure I don't favor the Cougars slightly in that department. Now, they do have more. I think they do have more weapons. I think Hancock does have slightly more weapons. But I tell you, it could go either way. Bolden, 516 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns. McLean running it as 245 a game as a team. It's a fascinating matchup, man. Number 9, Cougars. We'll get to Hancock in a minute. Number 8, sandwiched in between, is the Muhlenberg County Mustangs. 4-3 overall in the season. It's just a tough stretch for them right now. 3 straight losses. The Marshall County game was the one they kind of needed to get into the postseason and came up just a couple points short. They're on a bye week, and then they play Owensboro, so it's not going to get any easier for Muhlenberg. Clay Wilkins sitting at 558 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and they're running it for 408 yards. He's running it for 408 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns. Baskerville, I mean, what a season he's had. 345 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. He's got 5 total touchdowns overall for Muhlenberg County. And you say, it's about, surviving this stretch, but the postseason is going to run, you got Owensboro, you got Graves County still left on the schedule, and Ballard Memorial remaining for Muhlenberg County. So it's going to be an uphill climb for the Mustangs the rest of the way. We'll move it now to Hancock County, who's sitting at number 7, 4-3 overall in the season. It is McLean County week. We'll have that game for you on 2 different stations coming up on Thursday, as we'll have the McLean County broadcast on 97X, courtesy of Katie Gunterman, and over there on WBIL, it'll be Hancock County's broadcast with the 3rd Region Sports Network guys. Y'all be there with the tailgate. I've got a chorus concert for Macy on Thursday, so I won't be able to make it. Should be a great atmosphere over there. And,
I think Caleb's going to join me and bring a little and we're also going to have, Hancock County Farm Supply is going to jump on the show in the first segment and talk a little bit about that. It's a place that's been a huge sponsor of ours for Hancock County sports since we started. So looking forward to it. I don't know how well the reception will be for me, but we'll see.
I think it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. And I'll tell you what, it'd be a great football game. And you look at, the path, right? Who will these 2 teams play in the postseason if everything goes chalk? And it just really, the winner gets a home playoff game. The loser's going on the road. And then you got Caldwell and Crittenden in the other districts. I think they're going to be matched up. I favor Caldwell over Crittenden slightly. So if I had to guess, I would say the winner hosts Crittenden County. The loser has to travel to Caldwell County. If I had to guess, looking at the playoff path, and that would be the first round matchup for these teams. Let's get to our Southwire Hornet of the week. Be Mr. Cooper Jones, 74 rushing yards and a touchdown. He had 4 tackles as well. I did like the game plan to come out and get the ball in the hands of, I thought, your best athlete and put him at the quarterback spot some, run a little wildcat with him. And had some lead blockers, but that Catholic defense is tough.
It is tough.
At the end of the day, I think you expect to see a heavy dose of Cooper Jones again on Thursday.
And I think I think you're still going to see Anderson, and you're still going to see him. I think they're going to spend Eubanks run the football. And then, to me, I just love to see them go and pound the rock early and then get a little play action and see if they can hit Cooper Jones deep.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of McLean to know, but I think this is going to be one of those grinded out type of game. It usually is.
It usually is. I think you throw the whatever offense and defense. I think this is going to be another 21-14, 14-10, 14-7, 14-8 type of game.
Yeah, and McLean County can put it on the bulletin board. Hey, we're ranked lower and we should be 4-3. They're 4-3. What's the difference here?
Let me give one's 3-3 because they didn't play last week. But let me give you a big one. Here's one reason I also favor Hancock, because even though they lost Uzi, they still have a kicker that every time they score, they kick that extra point, while McLean is always going for 2. And they're just, that makes a difference in high school football.
That's a good point, man. You could be chasing points in that match. It'll be a great one on Thursday night. It's a Thursday night special here across the Cromwell family of stations. Move it to the 6th spot, and that's where Davis County is sitting this week, 4-3 overall, coming off an absolute blowout win over Central Hardin. They got a bye, and then they're hosting Meade County
for a home playoff game.
Yeah, you like that matchup for the Panthers. It would set up a win there would set up a district championship game with South Warren, which will be heavy underdogs on the 24th. But to even be in that position shows you how far Q Wallace and that staff has really taken this group. It was a group that really struggled a year ago, only 1 win. And now you're battling for a district championship. I know it's against South Warren, but, it should be a great one. Let's go ahead and get to our champion forward, Panther of the week, which will be quarterback Garrison Barker. 12 of 16, 302 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Barker this past week, but really getting it done across the board as a team. You talk about Rich Roberts at the running back spots, had an incredible start to the season. Jace Hunt had a big-time game. Anytime the ball's in his hands, he's a threat to score. And you got that defense led by Corbin and company that is, really, really made it tough on the opponents so far this season. As we'll move it now to the 5 spot, as Vic's busy doing an oil change in the other room. I'm gonna need you, Vic. I mean, at some point. What's that? We don't need commercials. We're running commercial free today. We got a radio show to do here. We got to go the number 5 spot to get the Henderson County Colonels. 3-3 on the season so far for the Colonels. They've already had their bye week, so they're playing out the rest of their schedule right now. They fall to George Rogers Clark 34-14. They'll host Christian County this week in district play, and it's a game they'll be heavily favored in. They're at Hoptown and then host McCracken. And you look at that matchup there between Henderson and hypothetically Hoptown, later on McCracken. The matchup, those two teams have already played each other, and McCracken beat Hoptown 59-56 last week. Week before, they lost to Murray 59-56. But got on the right side of things. That district is completely up for grabs. While I do think Henderson wins this week, the games against Hoptown and McCracken, a little bit more of a toss-up moving forward. But our Green River Area Federal Credit Union Colonel of the Week will go to the running back spot. He's gone over 100 in a couple of games this year. It's Marangini, the 112 rushing yards and a touchdown for the Colonels this past week, and he'll be our Green River Area Federal Credit Union Henderson County Player of the Week.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm trying to get us not only to get us commercials, but the other problem we have is when we go off the air, it's just going to be dead air. I mean, there's nothing I can do.
I know.
Because you won't let me close the event.
I'm trying to keep the quality high, but I'm no Jared Stillman. I'm no Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, you don't do it well alone.
People are getting well. I mean, I can, but it's just super dry. Especially running through the top 10.
I know. But I will say Henderson,
absolute dead horse.
I look at this thing in with Henderson in that district. I don't know McCracken can score a ton of points, and I don't know if Henderson, because McCracken lost to Murray 59-56. They turned around and won last week 59-56 on their own.
Score, yeah.
So
what a random score.
I don't know if Henderson can score that many, but I think this Henderson defense
is better.
Is a lot better than what they're playing. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that they can go and I think they got to go to McCracken for that one though.
Yeah. No, they host McCracken. They're at Hoptown.
Okay.
And Hoptown's no pushover.
No, they're not.
So I think both, you got to win one of the two to get it home, and we'll see how it goes. Let's move it to the 4 spot and talk about the Apollo Eagles. 3-4 overall on the season. Nice win over Graves County. Defense only gives up 7.
The cramp game.
They got they got a bye week this week, but I'm not so sure I'm not going to put Madisonville in upset alert. I've been talking to some people.
Listen,
I've been talking to some people.
I'll say this.
What are you going to do if Apollo goes in there and beats Madisonville, and all of a sudden they're looking at a home playoff game? That would be
that's 100% possible. Now, here's looking at that matchup. Okay, Apollo has struggled on run defense. It's gotten a little better. I think they made a really nice move, moving our player of the week to linebacker and taking him off defensive end, and he was everywhere. Okay, but can they slow down Hightower? It's one thing to slow down Graves' running game.
Hold on.
It's a whole nother thing to slow down Hightower. Now, with Apollo's passing game, I know against Tillman they had 4 interceptions, but Tillman also dropped 3 touchdown passes in that game. This could be a game that could be crazy score.
Well, like I was saying, in the early part of the season, I don't expect Apollo's defense to go pitch a shutout, especially against Hightower.
They may have to win 59-56.
But if you could keep them in the 28 to 35 point range, that maybe you can outscore them with that offense. The offense did sputter a little bit this week. It's something that I've been talking about. The yards is one thing, but you got to finish drives and points, and I think that'll be key if you're looking for an upset there. And we'll dive into a little bit more of Apollo's playoff picture next week. I know, we won't have the top 10, so we'll look at playoff pictures a little more. But our L&I Insurance Eagle of the Week, Roderick Dillard, 15 tackles this week.
Over the place.
Nice adjustment.
Probably had 4 or 5 that were for losses. He lived in the backfield. He just was everywhere, and that just really a nice adjustment, getting rid of the linebacker, giving him a little more athleticism there. Love the game he had.
No doubt. Let's move it to the number 3 spot, and that's where Owensboro Catholic is sitting, 6-1. I mean, since going up tempo with the offense, they're averaging 53 points per game. You look at Dramel Carruthers' stats in those games. He's 51 of 74 since going to the tempo offense. And this is, you're talking about Hancock County's defense. I know Meade's a little down, obviously, but Bardstown, a really good football team. 51 of 74, 69% completion there. 909 yards, 11 touchdowns to only one interception. And the interception that he had a minute 16 on the clock and immediately takes him right down the field for a score to erase that mistake. Since that time, I feel like he's really grown up. And we talked to Coach Morris at the coaches show. He said, hey, anybody who's questioning Jermel and his stats or whatever, go look at Brady Atwell's first 3 starts.
Well, I was doing after the Owensboro game, I did that coach's show, and that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't play well against Owensboro, but he's like, man, just go back and look. This was his 4th start, or what was that? That would have been game 4.
That would have been 4, yeah.
Yeah. This is his 4th start. Just go back and look. He's like, I can remember, like, start number 4. I think it was against maybe Apollo or Davis County. It was one of those two where Brady in that game threw like 4 picks.
Yeah.
It's like, just give it time. Let him
give it time.
It's like Daniel Jones. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater whenever you get maybe
maybe
going
you just
wrong.
replace the staff there in New York instead of replacing Daniel Jones.
There you go.
That might have been the better
That's all he needed.
route to go.
Now he's an NFL MVP.
That's right. No, he's definitely in the
Think
conversation.
about this. Think about this. You can literally have back-to-back years where the Giants got rid of Saquon.
Yeah.
Goes for 2,000 yards MVP. And then they get rid of Daniel
Offensive
Jones.
Player of the year, but
okay, same thing. He should have been MVP. Really, truthfully. I mean, they have that dumb rule that only quarterbacks win MVP.
Except for Adrian Peterson. Yeah.
But then you get rid of Daniel Jones, and boom, he goes in and wins an MVP. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I praise the Schoenheier, maybe not so much. But getting back to Catholic, let's get to the Owensboro Catholic Player of the Week. And finally.
Hold on. Before you get there.
Yeah.
I do want to say, because somebody came out, because we put the graphic out last night, and they're like, do you guys even look at the stats? Like, look at what Cam Jones did. Cam Woodward did.
Yeah.
We know what Cam Woodward did. We owed the guy,
man.
okay? We owed the guy.
Man, anybody that pays attention to the show would know that we've owed him for a couple weeks.
Yes.
Xavier Maddox.
It is Xavier Maddox.
3 catches, only 89 yards.
Only 30 yards a catch.
Right. I mean, not bad. But, I mean, if I had to go with one this week, it would have been Jermel. So, I mean, Jermel's in line too. And Cam Woodward, you just keep playing well. And I promise you we'll reward you. We've got a few of these things left to give away before the season's over. And as of right now, the game Friday at Fort Knox is on. So we will have that for you on K-News. And tomorrow we'll be over at Old Hickory with Coach Jason Morris. Let's move it to the 2 spot. And that's where Owensboro is sitting 5-2 overall on the season. Since starting 0-2, man, they have been a juggernaut, 45 points per game. And that's really because I feel like DeMarcus Ganaway Jr. is out there distributing the football at a high level. His completion percentage is astronomical in this stretch. They've got a bye right now. You close with Muhlenberg, Madisonville, and Henderson. And I don't see Owensboro losing again. I know that's a huge matchup with Madisonville, so we'll have to wait and see. But man, if you can find a way to win that game, you start to look at RPI and the way things shake out. I mean, I think you're going to be sitting pretty good if you're the Owensboro Red Devils. Madisonville currently number 1 in RPI. I think that's going to change drastically before the end of the year. So 5A is a little more muddy than 2A was, so it's something we'll have to wait and see as the games are played. But if you made me lay a bet on it right now, I'm going to go I'm on 3rd round. I'm going to go Bullitt Central, and then I'm going to go Bowling Green in round 4 at Rash Stadium for a chance to go to Kroger Field, and the winner of that game plays the winner of Cooper and Scott County. That I laid it out today. Now that's going to change. RPI is going to change, but as of right now, that's the path I would bet on.
Community Calendar on 102.7 The Game is brought to you by Robert Edge with Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Call 270-683-1715.
It's the Candleton Heritage Festival, Saturday, October 11th from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m., featuring handcrafted arts and crafts, half-pot, music, games, kids' activities, good food, and much more. It happens at the Candleton Community Center. Admission is free. To become a vendor, go to renewcandleton.org to complete a vendor application. It's brought to you by Renew Candleton, as well as Circle S, KNU, ATTC Manufacturing, Tri-State Service and Maintenance, Baskets, Bunnies, Bears, and more. G.A. Harris Studios, Iron Gate Pizza, and German American Bank. The Candleton Heritage Festival, Saturday, October 11th.
Find the 102.7 The Game community calendar on OwensboroRadio.com or on the Owensboro Radio app. We are Kentuckiana's sports leader, 102.7 The Game.
And now, Western Kentucky weather on 102.7 The Game. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons with your 14 First Alert forecast for the overnight hours, clearing skies with a low of 53. On Wednesday, sunny and pleasant, a high of 72. Clear skies again Wednesday night with a low of 45. And on Thursday, sunny and continued nice and cool with a high of 69. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons with your 14 First Alert forecast.
We're on the air.
102.10.
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
You have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor? Hello, sports fans, and welcome to
Live at 5.
It's Live at 5, and it's brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. And now, your host for Live at 5, Stephen A. Turner.
We're back. Man, I tell
hopefully
you.
it's not working. They had to actually shut down the whole system. That's why it kicked us off the air.
A little bit of a system. You just got to roll with the punches. You just got to keep moving forward, right? Like the Owensboro Red Devils just keep moving forward through their season. While we're playing the intro, we'll go ahead and get to our Roads and Roads Red Devil of the Week because time is of the essence. It's Evan Hampton, 7 carries, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that Owensboro offense is rolling. And, hey, that defense is rolling pretty good. Eli got him a touchdown this week on the defensive side of the ball. And, I think it's going to be fascinating to watch that 5A RPI. I think that whole thing is wide open, and I think there's going to be a lot of movement. There's still some big matchups across 5A that's going to change.
And everything you just said,
too.
I think it all starts right off the bat 2 weeks from now. Was it 3 weeks from now? Owensboro, Madisonville. Like, that changes a whole lot of things. The winner of that game, one, is you avoid Bowling Green. I say that, but maybe you still get them in round 3 because it just depends on
really
where those
depends
other
on the RPI.
Yeah, I look for Bowling Green to run the table and rise up the RPI.
I mean, I'm so ignorant when it comes to RPI that Owensboro could beat Madisonville and maybe Madisonville stays ahead of them. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to shake out, but it should be interesting. I do know the district, matchups would put Madisonville, if Bowling Green wins, now Bowling Green still got to play Greenwood, to be clear. And Greenwood's having a good season, but Bowling Green has turned the page.
Bowling Green will win that game by 28 or more.
I don't disagree. I think they probably do. But if Owensboro was to beat Madisonville, then all of a sudden you put Madisonville and Bowling Green
in
on
round
the collision
2.
course for round 2.
That's what I'm saying. That's
there's
where
so much football.
That
Pure speculation.
That Madisonville OHS game is so big because you force the loser of that game to not only have to play Bowling Green in round 2,
I'm gonna be honest with
you have to go to Bowling Green.
Sorry, Madisonville. No disrespect, but I'm about to disrespect. Owensboro's going to roll Madisonville.
Owensboro, I'm just telling
you right now.
I said it the other day. Owensboro is going to be playing in Kroger Field.
Sorry, Coach Ganaway, but that's just how I feel. I think there's a little bit of fool's gold there.
No, I think there's a lot of fool's gold there.
We're about to find out here in a couple weeks, and it's going to be fun to hype it up. So Madisonville, put it on the bulletin board.
I will say this.
And then you can, don't get me wrong, I've been wrong probably 3 or 4 times already on this show.
I'm not going to say it's not such a big Owensboro's not such a heavy favorite. I'm not going to say, hey, if Madisonville wins this game, I'm walking to Madisonville. I've done that before.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Anywhere.
I'm not doing that.
No.
But I will
my
say,
car to go home.
I do think Owensboro's the better football team. Madisonville got a great win against Paducah Tillman. If you look at the rest of the schedule, it's not the toughest schedule in the world.
No, but we'll see. Again, we're going to find. The good news is you get to play the game, and all the talk goes to bed. Heritage Hills is sitting at number 1 still. 1 vote still separates the 2 teams at the first place spot. Heritage Hills 6-1, coming off a 69-7 beat down.
Do you know what's
good
funny?
Mount Vernon team.
It's a good Mount Vernon. Here's what's funny, okay? I changed my vote this week, and I voted Owensboro 1.
Wow, after a 69-7 shellacking?
But somebody else changed their vote the other way.
Oh. Well, that's because the 69-7 was like, that's a beatdown in Mount Vernon.
I may be wrong on that.
I can't believe you did after Coach Wilkerson gave us such praise.
No, but I'll say that I may have still had Heritage Hills 1. I think I actually went back and changed it. I may be that 1. I do think that if they win out here, what Owensboro does against Madisonville, that's the one time I could jump Owensboro up there.
Either way.
And you're going to see it. But Heritage Hills, you got that whole Jasper matchup that's going to be big. That's what I want to see when the draw comes out for football, is where that Jasper matchup is.
You're at North. You don't finish the season with a weak schedule. You're at North Posey.
Who's 5-1 or 6-1?
At Boonville. I mean, those are 2 games I expect Heritage Hills to win, but they're not pushover.
No.
Man. Neither was Mount Vernon, though, and you beat them 69-7. But, I mean, you're looking across the board. I mean, you got guys contributing. Ruxer, obviously, over 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Gray's got 9 touchdowns to his credit. You know, Pledger's starting to come on. And you look at that 4A sectional, dove into it a little bit today. Jasper looks like the big dog, right?
No, Jasper, it's Jasper and Heritage Hills. I mean, that's right. Jasper's only loss is to Memorial, and that was like the first game of the year. And that's what Memorial, they're undefeated and going to win the SIAC.
And I believe Wright's just lost to Memorial in a good one.
Right, but I think if you played Jasper Memorial today, that game would be – I'm not saying that Jasper would win. I think it ended up being like a 2 or 3 touchdown score. I think it would be different.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough competition. You move up to 4A, Jasper and Wrights, I think, are right there at the top. Of course, Boonville's 4-3 as well, which, I mean, you'll get that matchup before the end of the season. So you'll know a little more. Once that draw comes out, we'll be able to draw – next week we'll be able to –
I just need Jasper, and I need Jasper – and Heritage Hills.
Who needs RPI? Let's just blind draw it.
Opposite sides of the bracket.
Yeah, let's just blind draw it. But we'll pause it, I think.
Yeah, I think we should be able. We can take a real quick commercial.
We'll take a really quick break and come back here and wrap things up. It's Live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
Hi, this is Travis Holtree from Foreman Watson Holtree. You are bombarded every single day with
Watson Holtree is an
all of it
award-winning
sounds the
law
same.
firm,
That is why
constantly
we
setting the
focus
standard
on
for
being
excellence. Our attorneys are passionate, prepared, and persistent. Our proven results in cases aren't by chance. They are a result of a constant pursuit of truth and justice. That is our promise to you. Foreman Watson, dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Sports Fan Crave, brought to you by Floor Concepts, where design meets durability. It's unsportsmanlike weekday mornings, 5 to 8, only on 102.7 The Game.
It's a touchdown at Sports Country. The place where football isn't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Get the latest football memorabilia, apparel, t-shirts, hats, cards, home decor, jerseys, autographs. Sports Country, where every day is game day, and no one will judge you for painting your face. Sports Country, Park Plaza Drive, behind Shangy's Car Wash off Frederick Street in Owensboro. Owensboro's #1 sports fan store.
Not responsible for spontaneous end-zone dances.
Looking for a financial partner you can trust? Look no further than Green River Area Federal Credit Union. Whether you're saving for the future, buying a new home, or need a loan, we've got you covered with competitive rates and personalized service. Join the community that cares about your financial well-being. Visit Green River Area Federal Credit Union at one of our 3 locations in Henderson, Greenville, or Owensboro and experience the difference today. Your money, your future, your credit union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
It's truck season at Champion Ford, and that means big savings on America's #1 selling trucks. Take command of the legendary 2025 F-150, just $44,990 with 0.9% APR, or lease for $499 a month with 0 down, or choose the powerhouse 2025 Ford F-250 Super Cab 4x4, $5,400 off MSRP. Hunting season, tailgating season, truck season, only at Champion Ford in Owensboro. ChampionOwensboro.com.
Southwire in Hallsville has been family-owned since 1950 and strives to be generationally sustainable for years to come. They are one of the leading manufacturers of wire and cable used in the transmission and distribution of electricity. Southwire delivers power to millions of people around the world. Their mission, to be a preferred provider of solutions to the electrical industry by providing innovative products and services with exceptional quality and delivering on our promises. They also are proud supporters of all Hancock County athletics. Go Hornets!
Backed by popular demand, Legendary Pools and Spas by John Morais is here. If John has built your pool or spa in the past and it needs service, repairs, or just a little attention, he's ready to take care of you. He loved to hear from his former customers, and if you're new, now is the perfect time to see why his work is legendary. Call Legendary Pools and Spas by John Morais at 270-316-1007. Reconnecting with customers, one pool at a time.
Local sports at its finest, live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner, Vic Evans here, rolling with the punches in the Floor Concept Studios.
It's been one of those days. We'll have to make up to it. I mean,
not even going to bother me.
Yeah,
not even going to flinch.
But when you need lawyer help, Foreman Watson Holtry, our title sponsor in Green River Area Federal Credit Union.
It did kind of cost me the back end of the show a little bit. I was going to talk about Louisville getting a UFL franchise, and then I was going to whine a little bit and get your opinion on the J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz situation. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Yep. And it's not necessarily that situation. It's situations like all situations like that, young quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
We'll talk about that, and maybe the NFL landscape of quarterbacks a little more tomorrow, because the top quarterbacks in the league, I mean, you got, just everything's upside down.
Trevor Lawrence, who you give it up on.
Trevor
Here's
Lawrence
what
got
you
a long
have.
way to- Here's what you have. The player of the week.
Get good coaching, you get good quarterback
Trevor
play.
Lawrence still stinks, to be clear.
No,
They're winning in spite of him. Let's get to the volleyball really quick. McLean County, a Sacramento Deposit Bank Lady Cougar of the week. Hadley Yount, 11 kills, 26 digs. They've won 2 out of the last 3 for the Lady Cougars. There on the Trinity side of things, our Foreman Watson Holtry Lady Raider of the week, Ella Morris, 19 kills, 35 digs. Tell you, though, a couple district losses. Edmonson County and Butler got them.
Struggling. They're young.
Those 2 teams play again next week, so we'll know the 12th district matchups. You already have them in the 9th. The Catholic will face Davis County. Starts on October 20th. Owensboro will face Apollo in 9th district play. So there your 9th district is set. But the team to watch for me is Breckenridge County.
They're playing well.
That's a team
They're
to keep an
playing
eye
well.
on, is the Lady Fighting Tigers. Let's go ahead and get it to the soccer side of things. Vic, you got a Tell City Player of the Week over there?
For our Tell City Football Booster Player of the Week, Marksman of the Week, we're going to go with the whole team, the junior high girls soccer team, as they win the Southern Indiana Junior High School Conference Tournament Championship.
Love it. Man, good job. Congratulations, ladies, and job well done. Congratulations to the KWC women's golf team, who put up a record number.
We're going to have a couple of them here tomorrow.
Yeah, it does a great job with that program, man, over there.
Oh, Ken does.
Ken Badalak, man, just balling. One of the best coaches they have. Plus,
you lose Ken, he might as well shut the school down.
I don't know how they would function without Ken.
I don't either.
He's a top-notch golf coach, and then everything else. Like, of course, you have the AD who does a great job, obviously, who's just stepping in, but Ken is like the go-to guy.
He is the glue.
He wears like 40 hats.
He is the glue. Like,
and he does everything
take Ken
well.
away, like, pieces start falling, you know?
Does everything well. Make sure we're on the air on Flow TV as well. Let's move it over to soccer.
Unfortunately for Flow TV.
No, come on. Flow TV's lucky to have all of us, I think, at this point. But boys soccer, Owensboro takes down Apollo. Apollo was game, though. They really challenged them.
I told you,
right,
get
though,
the rain. Get the rain. That was for the
You heard the
teams.
coaches say it leveled the playing field.
Yes, that's what you wanted. You wanted it to rain and rain and rain, and it did.
Apollo did have a deflected own goal, and then Junior Valor Smith, who transferred from Apollo. Little insult to injury there on the penalty kick victory as Owensboro moves on. It's not an upset by any stretch of the imagination. It would have been a massive upset if Apollo found a way.
Without a doubt.
Owensboro, a top 10 team in the state. On the other side, you had Davis County taking down Catholic 4-1. Samu, Taylor Hogue, Ethan Daly got the Panthers going. Gabe Sanderford got a goal late, and they move on. Davis County and Owensboro for the 9th district title. And on the girls' side tonight, 6 o'clock, coming up right now, you got Owensboro and Apollo, and then you got a big-time matchup coming up. I mean, Davis County and Apollo, I should say, at 6, and then the big one's later with Catholic and Owensboro.
Yankees, Blue Jays, 6:30 tonight, right here on 102.7.
We got it in. We'll see you tomorrow live at 5.
You've been listening to Live at 5 on 102.7 The Game. Special thanks to Foreman Watson Holtry for sponsoring the preceding broadcast. FWHlegal.com. Tune in next time for Live at 5 on 102.7 The Game.
Is leading off since May